Welcome everybody to the Romeo Georges the Crasher. Today we'll be crushing a man that put boxing, Australian boxing, on the map back in the 80s. A man that loved us all. Played no games about if you hate me enough you'll want to come and watch me get knocked out. Just a bloke that loved the sport, loved his country and loved us all. Today we'll be crushing Jeff Fenech. I hope you enjoy it. Welcome guys to the Crusher again. As I told you, I'm crushing the guy that loves you all. Put boxing on the world map in the 80s. Made us all believe that us Australians have got a good chance at winning something internationally. Thank you, Jeff Fenech. Pleasure. Thank you for giving us your time. I know you're a very busy man. So you were born in 28th of May 1964 in St. Peters. You're known, you grew up on the, hung around in Marrickville. I remember you as a kid in Marrickville. You earned the name the Marrickville Mauler. Jeff, what made you, watching you as a kid fight, you didn't fight to win. To me, that's what I thought. You fought to prove a point. Am I wrong? Or could you add to that?
I don't know. I fought for a few reasons. One was to prove to everybody that I could do what a lot of people thought I couldn't, because I was just a little skinny kid from St. Peters, Marrickville, and nobody thought I was ever going to be anything. I want to be a rugby league player. I think the most important thing, one of the most important reasons I was successful was because of Johnny Lewis. I wanted to win for him so much more than win for myself. Every time that I won and seeing the smile and the happiness that I created inside this human, which transcended to me and everybody else in our team, was pretty amazing. So I loved it, and I loved the fact that he was the man who set me these goals and told me that I could achieve them and do what nobody else thought I could do. This was one man out of the whole world who really believed in me. And yeah, like I said, he told me that if I worked hard, I could be the state champion. If I worked hard, I could be Australian champion. He told me I could maybe one day represent Australia at the Olympic Games. And all those dreams came true through, of course, hard work, dedication, and preparation. Because I believe preparation is everything. Nobody prepared better or harder than I did.
I could agree with that. Is it true that you threw 400 punches around? You were one of the fittest fighters. Now we see fighters throw a couple of punches, but is it a myth? I mean, I know it's a lot of punches because I used to see it, but is it a myth or is it true? Was it between 200 to 400 punches around?
Yeah, it was definitely around the 200 mark, and sometimes more. But like I said, there were reasons behind all this. I had really bad hands, so I wasn't this guy who was going to knock you out with one punch. So I wasn't silly. I wasn't going to sit there and wait for this one punch to come where I'd throw it and it wasn't going to work. So I thought that the more I punched, the tighter they got, and then I'd wear them out, and I didn't have to punch as hard. But like I said, I was just fit. I believed in myself, and I've got this mentality. If you hit somebody once, all these people they'll throw a 1-2, they hit and they jump back off you. I'm going to throw a 1-2, I'm going to hit you. I'm going to hit you 3-4. If I hit you with 3-4, I'm going to hit you 5 and 6, and it just continues from there. And so look, I was very, very lucky. I trained really hard. I had some amazing people around me. I had Pat Jarvis, who was a rugby league first grade football player and a policeman out of the Newtown Police Youth Club, who I'd train with on many occasions, and I always wanted to prove to everybody that I was fitter and better than everybody else in everything I'd done. I'd go for runs with the South Sydney Rugby League team, and they'd do the stairs out of Coogee. By the time they'd read up and down the stairs once, I'd done them twice just to, of course, a little bit of ego and showing off, but I wanted to show everybody how fit and how strong I was, and that nobody was ever going to beat me.
So you never ever thought about breaking records?
No, never. No, like I said, everything I'd done, I don't know, it was just time. I was just blessed. I was, in the right time, the right place, and again, on top of that, I worked hard. And when I got an opportunity, I got a chance. I made sure I took with both hands.
The reason why I asked about breaking records is while I was researching, I've known you, I've known about you, I've seen you, but I did a lot of research. It took you 6 fights to become #1 contender. Nobody's ever done that. To get to the WBF, the bantamweight, it took you. You're the eighth fastest. IBF,
yeah,
sorry.
IBF, yeah.
It took you 8 fights.
My seventh fight.
The eighth. Sorry, let me rephrase that. You were the eighth fastest fighter in the world to get to that step.
No, I don't believe that was when I won the titles. It was the shortest time in history.
Yeah.
196 days. What people don't realise is I had 28 amateur fights.
Yeah.
28 amateur fights. I went to the Olympics after 24 amateur fights. It's never been heard of. I went to the World Cup in Rome in my 12th or 13th fight, and I came third in the world. And these guys, they had 200 or 300 amateur fights and so on, and and then like I said, at the Olympics, I'd already won a medal prior to them overturning my decision. I just had to fight, win or lose. I had a bronze medal, and so I don't know if you sit down and really dissect my career. I think anybody in the history of the sport has done what I've done in the time that I've done it in. And today things are happening. Obviously, much more rapidly. There are a lot more titles and a lot more opportunities, and money really talks a lot today. And look, money spoke through every era. But yeah, when you sit down and look at me after 23 fights, fighting I think 10 or 11 world title fights in my first 20 fights, it's unheard of. Yep. If you look at the greatest fighters in the world, like Roberto Duran, Julio Cesar Chavez, after 30, 40 fights, they're fighting people who have had more losses than wins. I fought world champions. I said in my first 23 fights, I fought 10 or 11 times for the world title in 15 rounds also, So, yeah, it's really unheard of. People don't really know. People don't know.
I wanted to ask. A lot of reporters, and we all know the media, it's designed to, get people talking. They said, they don't think that you could go more than 6 rounds because instead of praising you for what you achieved, knocking people out within 6 rounds, some of them within 2 rounds, they said, we believe Jeff knocks them out because he can't go 15 rounds. And in the very next fight, you went 15 rounds with a technical knockout. Did you take that in mind? Like, did you read those, or you never read those articles and never, or just wanted to?
Well, I remember fighting for my first world title and hearing some of the great Australian fighters say that I wouldn't win because I haven't gone 15 rounds. The champion has. Well, I don't know if these people what they think or dream. I mean, I prepared for 15 rounds. I sparred 15 rounds on numerous occasions, so I'd done it, and I knew I could do it. So it was for me, that was never the battle. My battle was always making weight, making sure my hands were okay. So fighting was the easy thing for me. I was born to do that. I honestly believe that I was born to fight, and I'm just blessed that I one day went to a youth club, not to box, but just to be just to be a hood. And I seen the boxing room and I met Johnny Lewis, and that changed my life. But also, today I don't even think I'd be alive today, or I don't think I'd be here. I think I'd either be in jail or dead. So just everything happens for a reason. Like I said, and thank you, whoever I have to thank. But a lot of my thanks goes to Johnny Lewis, the man who, like I said, believed in me, seen something special in me, set me goals that I achieved, and took me to the highest level in boxing you could ever get to.
Look, as a person who, I mean, for me, and I'm not blowing sunshine and all that kind of stuff, but you really made me enjoy boxing. I really enjoyed your fights. You got used to seeing fights, and they were boring. But I knew with Jeff Fenech when I watched in 1984 when you won your first title, or 85, I saw a fighter, and it was enjoyable. It was like, we were part of that trip with you.
Yeah.
But with that said, I've had a lot of obstacles in my life where I've given up. Right? I've just said it's not worth it, so I've got to give up. In boxing, has that ever happened? Any particular point in time where you were so heartbroken that you said, I want to walk away. I can't do this no more? No,
look, I retired once. My first retirement was for maybe the wrong reasons because I was a little upset with what was happening in the sanctum of my team and my management and my promoter and that. And I regret that, but I made a comeback and still was able to, be successful for a little while. But to be honest, like I said, people ask, there's that famous question, would you change anything? Shit, would I? I'd change a million things. But guess what? You can't. So I tell you, you can't change things. So, I mean, although the question always brings adversity and people love to listen, but no, shit, I would change a million things. A million things I would change if I had the opportunity. But you can't change them. So you just have to do the best of what you had. And that's what I done. I was a little kid that grew up in like I said, in an area that was populated by Greeks, and they all loved me. And I was loved by most of Australia. And I fought for Australia. There was a lot. Most of my victories, though, people think it was great because I won and I was able to celebrate. But to see the smiles and to see the other people enjoy life with me is what was the highlight of my victories.
I can vouch for that. I saw you as a person that wanted to show us how much you loved us and loved the country, and that made us love you back.
Yeah, well, like I said, I'd have nothing today if it wasn't for the people. If they didn't buy tickets to watch me fight, what do I have? So look, I'll be forever grateful to the people. And like I said, people ask me about things like, yeah, I've done some silly things and made mistakes, but I've made those mistakes. And everybody makes mistakes, and people will criticise and they'll say negativity or negative things about it. But I turn all those negatives into a positive. I mean, I've done something. Somebody will learn from some of the mistakes I made. I've learned from them. It's made me a better person. It's made me a better father. It's made me a better friend. It's made me a much better teacher. I don't call myself a coach. I teach my fighters how to fight. I actually show them what to do. And so if I didn't make those mistakes, who knows where I'd be today? I certainly wouldn't be here sitting talking to you, because people who that make mistakes and think they're great have these massive big heads and they just go and live a life that isn't real. My life's always going to be real because I've got real people around me.
You said if I can change some things, I would. Through your boxing and seeing decisions go against you, seeing boxers that you know won the fight, but the fight's gone against them. I've heard you say that there's one thing. Would you change the way they judge fights?
Definitely
How
so.
would
They've
you?
got to be accredited. Listen, you've got a job here today. If you can't do this job, you're not going to be able to do it. These referees and judges have a job to do. If they can't do it, you've got to sit them down. If they make a mistake, we all can make a mistake. If they make a mistake, you get rid of them. These guys referee 1 week, they make mistakes. They're in the corner the next week, they make the same mistake. They travel overseas. Like I said, it's really bad. The sport, the way boxing is run is really, really bad. It needs to be changed. It needs to be changed for a lot of reasons, and the main reason is for credibility. If people wants to believe and to trust them, you need people that we can believe in and trust, and they show that in their refereeing and judging. But I don't know. It doesn't happen. I'm not sure if it's ever going to happen.
Well, what would you implement to make sure it happens? What kind of ideas? I mean, in football, they've got the
Well, you forget that simple. If a referee, or if a judge, or somebody scores a fight wrongly, I sit them down and ask them, let's go through it again. And if their excuse, or if it was closer than I thought it was, you give them a second chance. You tell them if it happens again. If not, if they're incompetent, which most of them are, they're either incompetent because they've never had a fight in their life, or they're doing what's right for the promoter because they know the promoter is the guy who brings them there, who pays them, who gives them food, who wines and dines them, and they look after the promoter, which is terrible. When you get to the boxing ring, there's a red corner, there's a blue corner. Don't even know. Forget if it's Jeff Fenech or Julio Cesar Chavez. Forget if it's Mike Tyson or Muhammad Ali. It's just the red corner and the blue corner, and your referee and who hits each other the most wins the fight. And until they learn to do that, and until they've only got that in their mind, and not that's Jeff Fenech's fight, or that's Don King's fight, or that's whoever that may be, there will always be corruption, and there will always be favoritism in the sport of boxing.
All right. Well, you said you're not a coach; you're a teacher. What's the difference in Jeff Fenech's terms?
Anybody can tell somebody to go and punch a bag, duck, weave, move, jab. Unless I show them how to do it properly and show them, what you do after it and what you do while you're doing it. What do they learn? They learn nothing. They punch a bag. Bags don't punch back. Then they get in the boxing ring and they get hit and they think, wow, the bag needs to be back. Why do I jab the bag and they be back? Why? Because I didn't. The bag doesn't show you how to make somebody move. It doesn't tell you. It doesn't explain the method to that.
Is that something you learnt from Johnny?
Yeah, no, it's something I learned. Of course, I learned throughout my career, but I learned a lot of that from Emmanuel Stewart. Emmanuel Stewart told me that these pads are not pads, Jeff. This is your opponent. So opponents don't have heads that big. And I see people doing pad work. Emmanuel worked a lot on one pad. He worked very close together, and like I said, I learned a lot. Now, look, I learned a lot towards the back end of my career. I think Johnny Lewis's greatest attribute was he was maybe the greatest people manager in the history of the world. I mean Wayne Bennett from the Brisbane Broncos is another man who is an amazing people manager. But Johnny Lewis, from the first day I met him, maybe from 5 days later, I was prepared to die for him.
Yeah.
He has that effect on you, and like I said, that's what Jeff Fenech did. Of course, I would have loved to have learned more to the skill, the art of boxing, but I went to the top without that, or without a lot of boxing skills and the boxing knowledge. But like I said, everything happens for a reason. Again, would I change it? No. Why? Because I can't. Or else I would have loved to have Emmanuel Stewart early in my career show me this and show me certain things, because I honestly believe I would have been a better boxer, overall fighter. But what I done with Johnny was amazing, and would I change? I said no, because I can't.
All right. And your friendship is well documented. A lot of people don't seem to understand how it works, but your friendship with Mike Tyson, is he outside of the ring? Is he what they say he is? Just a
Nah,
marshmallow, a soft-hearted
yeah,
individual?
he's most of the beautiful man you'll ever meet. I've travelled the world with Mike. I got on a plane one day, and we sat in first class together. 25 minutes before we took off, I'd fallen asleep. Woke up, looked to the left of me. He's this old lady sitting near me. Mike's in the last seat in economy. He got off his seat and gave it to a lady in first class. But I've seen him give money to people all around the world. I've seen him be beautiful. And I've also seen him be crazy. But I think the Mike Tyson today is a totally different Mike Tyson to the one that I grew up with. And he's a better person for it. But look, the Mike Tyson I know was, if he was your friend, he was the most loyalist person in the world. And I'll forever love him.
If you had one message for all the kids out there that are growing up with the uncertainties of life today and the adversities they have to face through social media, they've got so much stuff different to us. What would you say to them? One thing, just it's an important point to help them overcome their adversity.
I would say to their parents, and the message would be, when your son tells you he's going out with Charlie, first go and find out who Charlie is, find out his background, find out what his family do, and if you're around good people, good things happen. I'll never ever change the importance of what I've learnt about being around good people. And that doesn't mean that money is irrelevant, because money doesn't mean you're a good person. Money can spoil people, but what I'm saying is, if you're around good people, I don't care who you are, what you do, unless you want to do something on your own, good people don't do bad things. They're good people because they're good people. Yeah. It's really simple. So my message to families is to make sure that your children are around people who come from a good family and are good people. And again, we can come from the best family in the world, but I know the richest people in the world whose kids do drugs and have done the craziest things in the world. So that's why I say it's really important for you as a parent to make sure that when yours says, I'm going to see Charlie, make sure he's with Charlie. You've got to know about Charlie, know what Charlie does, know what what makes Charlie tick. And if you know that, I think it's going to be a much easier road for you as a parent. Trust is everything. And we trust our kids. As much as we say we trust them, and we want them to know that, you've got to make sure. Trust is a really, really big word. It's a powerful word. Now, I've said I've trusted 1 million people in my life, and maybe 999,000, just 1 under 1 million, have done the wrong thing by me. So I don't like the word trust. I just like the word that I want to believe in what I believe when I see it. I want to say I trust somebody. I want them to prove to me that they're trustworthy. And like I say, I'm not nowhere near the perfect parent, but I tell my kids exactly how I feel. If I think that they're somewhere they shouldn't be, and I'll tell them why. I'll just tell them, and I'll tell them in every four-letter word that I need to use. I'll tell them, I'm not gonna beat around the bush. I just tell them if I think they're somewhere where they shouldn't be. Like I said, my kids, if they go to a club and the club opens at 11 o'clock, I say anything that opens at 11 o'clock, it's trouble. Who wants to be out somewhere at 11 o'clock? I'm in bed by 8:30. So I just try to tell my kids the truth. I think it's really important that if you tell your kids the truth and they believe that you're telling the truth, your kids will be much better for it.
You're just building a bond. You've got 3 children. You've got Kayla, Bo, and Jessica. You were hospitalised, very ill, but you got out and you went to the wedding. You're a parent, right? I think the message you're saying is be a parent, be responsible, and build a bond. I know a lot of people.
It's more than a bond. It's like I said, it's again, we're talking about that word trust. It's just a word. Trust is much more than a word. When you can finally believe that you can trust and you have solace in the person, it's really, really beautiful. And there aren't too many people I can say that about. I'm blessed today that wow, I don't hang around with anybody that I hung around in my childhood. And I'm not saying that's great. I still see lots of my friends who I love and love to see, but the people who I have dinner with are really successful business people, and they've got families, and we're all on the same boat. We go out, we have dinner, we go. We don't need to. There's no egos. We have a laugh with each other. We do make fun of each other, and then we go home, and then we're back together the next day. And I think that's what life's about: being able to live it to the fullest, and knowing that, like me, 2 years ago, had I went to bed that night, I wouldn't be here today. And I was just blessed that my team got an ambulance to pick me up, and here I am able to talk to you and share my experiences, share my life still with you.
That's beautiful. Well, Jeff, I know you're a busy man, and I wanted to thank you for the time that you've spent with us. I hope everyone understands what it takes to be successful in life, to not let things hold you back. Never give up, never give in, and especially what Jeff said, surround yourself with people that will make you a better person. As he said, it's not about trust. It's about finding the right type of people that you gel with, and they support you just as much as you support them. That's how we're going to get through this.
Anyway, so now I'm going to just put the icing on the cake. This is the most important thing I can teach any young person to say. To be able to say no. When you can say no to your friends, when your friends are going to smoke or do a drug or do something wrong, when you can say no and they're trying to push you to say yes, and you can walk around, then you know you've made it. I've said no all my life. I've never had a smoke in my life, never had a drug in my life. I've never had a coffee in my life. And to be around people that have done that every day, for me to be able to say no, I'm very proud of myself. When you be proud of yourself, then you know you've done something well.
Thank you, Jeff. You're an absolute legend.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.